Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of HRD 631, The Adult Learner. I hope things are going well with everybody. And for those that do not know, in another week from now, actually on March 17th, we have spring break. So spring break is a great opportunity for those that may be a little bit behind. Um, I know some people are traveling. I know some people, not much changes, short of you don't have formal requirements for class, but you know, if you have kids in school, they probably still have school next week, etc. So whatever you're going to do, it is a break from this class. So um, congratulations on making it to week 8, and I'll get right to the materials. Week 8 is a really interesting topic. It's one of the few contents. I think we have week 8, 9, and 10 as content. Then we get into 11, 12, 13, and 14. I'm still working on the actual weeks. But you will have an opportunity to present more information on that coming up, but to present your exploration project. And that's really, we're learning from each other in the last 3 weeks of this class. But that's a ways down the road. I'll have more information coming up. So in week number 8, what we're doing, we're taking a look at really critical theory, postmodern, and feminist perspectives in adult learning. And I find this particular week fascinating, but then again, I find most of the topics in this course fascinating and intriguing. Feminist pedagogy or perspectives in adult learning is something near and dear to my heart. A number of years ago, I was part of a team that put a grant together that really studied women ways of knowing, and it came from a lot of the research came from a book called Women Ways of Learning. It's an older book now. You know, it wasn't that old when I was working on some applied research, but really it showed certain aspects of how women learn, how they specifically like to learn. But I'll throw out a disclaimer. When I kind of was learning this for the first time, I was thinking it was more finite, more definite. And I've come to understand that really there's many men that like to learn supposedly in the same way that not supposedly, many men like to learn collaboratively, which is one of the traits of how some women like to learn. So I think the ideas are evolving, and I love learning collaboratively. So to say men learn one way, women another way is false. So, but it's interesting. Critical and postmodern perspectives in adult learning. There's all kinds of information in here. Critical theory. There's a lot of critical theory. A lot of information's been out there in the past bunch of years on critical race theory, and I would hopefully you'll take some time to dig into the information on this. I put something in here that I just found it yesterday. I found a really good resource on critical theory. And it's also called, it comes from this thing called the Frankfurt School, which really is kind of a set of ideas. It's critical theory can be looked at from the standpoint of there's different aspects of it. And let me come down here that makes it a little clearer. It has to do with power and how you're looking at critical theory. You're looking at theory in it's a combination of a philosophy and social science, and it's all about power. And so when there's been all kinds of information out on the web, some people view it as a real negative, like, no, it shouldn't be looked at. Well, in this particular class, critical theory is very important. And I'll leave it at that because we're going to have an opportunity to talk about what critical theory is. Let me just go back here for a second. So for those that really want to dig into the topic, please take a look at this. But chapter begins, chapter 11, with 3 viewpoints centered around the perspective: race, class, and gender, power and oppression, knowledge and truth. So that kind of sums up this chapter. You can see where some of these issues might be controversial, or some people don't like to look at it from, to say, a race standpoint because they think we're all created equal. And in reality, in the United States and probably across the world, some of us have more privilege than others, and we've started off with more. So dig into this topic, and I fully expect that people will find the topics this week very interesting. So what I'd like you to do is read chapter 11. There's this Kilgore article. Now, one thing I did mention last week that we're going to be people will be reading an excerpt from one of these, and we're going to be discussing it. That's going to be pushed off to week 9, which is the week after, because I wanted to not sway, but I wanted our discussion forum to be on something a little bit other. Please view the PowerPoint, view Women Ways of Knowing video, it's YouTube video. Participate in the online discussion questions. Really, this has to do with feminist pedagogy and women ways of learning. And then coming up, we have the first learning reflection paper. It is due on March 11th. So here's once again some more information on the articles, etc., critical theory. Do want to say one thing: spring break is March 17th through the 23rd. And then we have the advanced organizer, which actually starts after spring break, which is Monday, March 24th, we get going back into it. So go through the materials, YouTube video, and the PowerPoint, advanced organizer for when we come back after spring break, significant points from chapters 11, and then the article, and then the assignment, LRP. There's the rubrics, and then we have the discussion. So 2 questions in here. You know the routine. You can either focus in on one or both, but please explain your understanding of feminist perspectives in adult education. And the research of Women Ways of Knowing was conducted in the mid-1980s. So some comments on that. That is it. That's quite a bit. And once again, I'll have some information. I'll have a video out next Saturday talking about what we will be doing when we come back, including, I think it's not too early, I'll probably next Saturday send out a sign-up sheet to everybody can put their week that they want to facilitate our learning. And once again, you don't have to spend more time on that than you need to at this point, because I'll explain it in more detail in the upcoming weeks. So next Saturday, I will have a video explaining spring break, not explaining spring break, but what we'll be doing right after spring break. And then I will include a link to sign up to facilitate your exploration project coming up. So that's it for me. I hope you have a great week, and please let me know if you have any comments, questions, or concerns of any kind. I'm here. See you, everybody.